This episode of the Patriots Postgame Show is presented by DraftKings.
This is the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings.
The play looked like it was over before it began. And Drake Maye found Stephon Diggs once again.
Join the conversation by calling into the show at 855-PATS-500 or email us at podcast@patriots.com.
Fires toward the end zone. Pass is going to be caught. Keyshawn Boutte. What a throw.
Live from our studio inside Gillette Stadium, this is the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings.
Welcome into the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings. Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, I'm Kwani Lunis. And as you know, the Patriots taking another win, 31-13 in Tennessee. How do we feel, guys?
How do we feel? I'm in awe of Drake Maye. I just am so impressed with how that kid's playing football right now. It's really just fun to watch him play football. And some of the throws he made today, just staying hot, no dip in his performance from what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. I'm really impressed with him.
I say that, everything you said about Maye, I would co-sign, but I would just say my overall feeling is, it's going to sound weird, like boredom. And it's so refreshing to return to the days where these kinds of wins, Mike, are boring.
Yeah.
It's just like they come in, they're the better team, they take care of business. A little bit of a shaky start, but just offensively, they're relentless. Yeah. And they today they found a way to get some running game going. And then, like you said, with Drake Maye. But yeah, I say it in the most complimentary way. That game was never in doubt in my mind.
No, I mean,
and that's the way it used to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little hairy at the top, and Cam Ward has got a perfect passer rating through the first quarter, and
I like Cam Ward.
I
think he's got something.
He looked comfortable, and this is something we can dive into. I don't really want to go into because look, they did what they were supposed to do, took care of business in Tennessee, and congratulations to Mike Vrabel. I'm sure he downplayed it. He never,
of course.
It never came off to me at any point that the Patriots were kind of looking to make a statement or do anything. They just went in, they played good football, they didn't make any killer mistakes. They kind of weathered the storm a little bit early on and just allowed their offense then to take over. And, just what a performance by then. It's getting more and more exciting by the week with the way these guys are playing.
Jason McCourty gushing on the broadcast, understandably so, talking about the accuracy and confidence of Drake Maye, but very impressive performance today.
21 to 23, 222 yards. It's just, a couple moments there where the ball came out, I think, that were a little bit scary, but, he's just not making the critical mistakes. He's not making the random, whoa, what was that throw kind of plays. He's locked in. He looks comfortable. And when it all falls apart, he's able to pick things up with his legs. So he's dealing right now.
We haven't really seen any of the recklessness that we saw pretty much every game of his rookie year. And then, periodically at the start of this season, the last 2 or 3 weeks, that's really disappeared. You mentioned his legs, 8 for 62. I thought he was a very effective runner today. This was about as perfect a quarterback performance as you're going to get. And it's not just like making all the right, but some of the throws, like the touchdown to Boutte couldn't have been more perfect. He had one to start the second half down the left sideline to Diggs that is just perfect. A deep ball to Mac Hollins, another one in the honey hole, in the zone where he just finds a way to get enough on it, but he has the touch to layer it over the first segment of coverage. But this throw to Boutte is just perfect.
Gorgeous,
nice catch by Boutte too.
Yeah, right.
But might as well. This is like an extended hand. This is a 35-yard handoff. It's just. I know. Well, he's playing at an exceptionally high level right now.
You look at these plays, Paul, and how many times over the last couple years. Really going back to 2020, did you talk about Patriots are in a little hole? It's going to take them a while to put a scoring drive together, and here you have a 3-play drive. All of a sudden. The Titans take a 13-10 lead, and that was it. That was the turning point. 3-play drive, score, stop them there, briefly before the half, get back on the field, another good drive, score. Chason takes it in for a 21-point swing, just like that. All of a sudden, it goes from you're down to now it's kind of the complexion of the game has changed, and you're running away with it. So it's just the big playability has really changed everything for this Patriots offense. We've seen times over the last few years where Mac Jones would get into a rhythm maybe, or you'd find a little bit of something, but it never was able to push the ball down the field to make big scoring plays. And that's just what's making them so lethal right now.
And I think you make a great point, Mike. I think that's the biggest difference between the offense we saw the first couple of weeks and the offense we've seen the last few is that they're able to get the ball downfield. 3 plays, 60 yards was unheard of
Yeah, right.
You know, and even week 1, 2, you know, like they were going, you know, long drives with a lot of plays requiring a lot of execution. And this, all of a sudden, I would say the start in the Buffalo game, it's just completely changed, and he's consistently getting the ball down the field. He's going deep to 3 or 4 different guys now. It was Douglas last week. You know, it's everybody this way. I mean, I think Hollins, Diggs, and Booty all had deep catches today. Huge 4th down catch for Douglas, sitting down in the zone. I think, by the way, that might be a play that we talk about a little bit during the course of the week. Maybe one of those examples what we talk about with Douglas in zone. Just kind of sit down, and you know, I think that's maybe great. That's probably why that throw looked like it was a little bit behind him. But just like offensively, this team is playing at a very high level. They're knocking on the door 400 yards today, and they basically throttled it down in the 4th quarter. And Ramondre Stevenson too. You know, giving him something on the ground game. So a little bit of everything from the offense today.
Sure. No need to postpone it. Let's get into the good, the bad, and the injured.
Now it's time for the good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
The bad.
Hey, what happened?
And the injured.
You all right, guy?
The good, the bad, and the injured is brought to you by Aaron's, the official lawnmower of the New England Patriots. They're proud to help Patriots fans get back to football. You can visit them at www.aarons.com to find your errands. And of course, I think the top of our good list is, of course, Drake Maye.
I think so.
We're talking about the receivers. I want to say he's Oprah with his receiving core, making sure everyone gets a catch throughout the game. But of course, we can talk more about his performance.
No, it was excellent. And, you know, where to start with it, I would just say that it's just been consistent. You know, that's what's impressing me is that, you know, I think some quarterbacks can have a little bit of a run where they, you know, complete a bunch of straight passes and they look kind of locked into the zone. And then all of a sudden, you know, a mistake happens, it falls around, they get a little cold. Like he isn't getting cold. Like you know, certainly they're punting sometimes. It's not completely, but for the most part, the mistakes aren't derailing him. He's playing with the same poise that you've seen throughout this season over the last, you know, 4 games that they've won. And that to me is just what's so impressive. I just keep waiting for the ebbs and flows of it. The flows are great, but you know, you're thinking like, all right, well, at some point he's going to regress a little bit toward the mean. And right now you're just wondering like, what is his ceiling? Like, can he just keep doing this? Can he keep playing at this level? Because this is MVP type football right here, where you're completing almost every single one of your passes. And he did it last week. At some point he had like 19 straight passes. Like, he's playing at a crazy level right now, and I think I'm running out of ways to describe it.
Yeah, I would say, you know, all the stuff about the whole game, you know, I think we've already mentioned, but the second drive to me, 11 plays, 93 yards, you know, you come out, you get up a field goal, you go down and get the field goal right back, and then, you know, the Titans say, okay, you know, we showed up to play today. Touchdown, 10-3. Yeah. And, you know, they get a terrible kick return. Chisholm gets bottled up. They get a penalty. They get backed up inside their 10. And he just goes to, I think he was 6 for 6 on the drive and also had like 25 or so yards rushing on that drive. Some unbelievable throws. That one to Hollins was picture perfect. He had one on the other side to Booty earlier in the drive. And then the touchdown to Austin Hooper. He, you know, lofts it up. He takes advantage of the defender having his back turned. I think it was Snead. Hooper makes a great catch. You know, with a head top in the end zone. But that drive, to me, ended the game. You know, like old school. Like, to me, that's like, yeah, I know it's 10-10 right now. But that drive told me that the offense was going to have another good game. And the Titans were going to be power. They couldn't stop. At that point in the game, they couldn't stop the run or the pass. Yeah. And, you know, that basically continued for the better part of 3 quarters.
I don't know if the guys can pull up the Diggs. I think it was a 3rd down catch along the left sideline late in the game. But that to me was like another one of those throws where just his touch, his timing, dropping these balls in the hole where only his receivers can get it. You're seeing it more and more. You know, and at some point, like these become like what he does. Like, it's cool to watch him develop as a player and make some crazy throws. All right, that looked pretty cool, but can he do it consistently? Yeah, this is the one to me that's just like, I mean, Diggs doesn't even have to move. He just looks up, puts his hands out, and the ball just flies right into his hands.
Yeah, and Diggs is good at that Moss thing. Like, he doesn't put his hands out.
Exactly.
He waits for the ball to get there, and then he catches it so the defender doesn't have a chance to react to it.
So why don't we just keep the train growing? I want to put Diggs on there. We just watched him. I mean, 7 catches for 69 yards for him. Again, coming through in some big spots. I know we had, I think, at least 2 third down conversions. He just continues to be what they need. The volume guy, the move the chains kind of guy, the reliable guy. When you need a play, Stephon Diggs has been there for Drake Maye, and that, as we saw today, is also opening up opportunities for other players to make plays too. But, Diggs was, again, that here on 3rd and 8, just a huge, play, but it's just showing the confidence Drake has. Perfect pocket, opens right up. There's Diggs right in the middle. I mean, this is just great excitation. That's how you draw them up.
It's so different that when they're on 3rd, and I talked about this in my halftime chinwag here at the stadium.
It's self-styled.
But it used to be just 3rd and long, you'd be like, oh, good time to go to the bathroom or, grab something to eat because they're going to either throw a check down or get sacked. But now, I just feel like he's going to find a way to convert these, and Diggs has been the guy he leans on the most in those situations, like you said, Mike. But Kayshon Boutte is a guy that I had on my list today. And again, another day with not a tremendous amount of volume, 2 catches. The first one, he makes a really heads-up play coming back for, kind of a oddly thrown ball.
Yes, I mean, it's a 2nd and 12. You're down already 10-3.
And this was kind of, I don't know if it was underthrown or maybe he didn't get enough. Maybe, I don't know if he didn't come out of his hand properly. This is the only ball all day that really didn't look right. But Boutte does a nice job making sure he comes back and keeps the ball out of harm's way.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of getting pushed back there. It's like, take a second look at it. I mean,
and then the touchdown, for Boutte. So I had Boutte on my list, and I mentioned the touchdown catch that Hooper had. I mean, again, just when you ask these guys to make a play or two, and they're not always easy plays, and they make them, that's worthy of the recognition. So I think that's what you're getting from the offense right now is contributions from almost everybody.
Yeah, I kind of had Boutte, but I kind of had it more under the banner of secondary receivers. And just Diggs obviously was the volume guy, but as you said, Paul, you had 5 people with 10 or more yards of their longest catch. You had 3 at 20 plus. Everyone was contributing today. 4 catches for Hunter Henry, 33 yards, 3 catches for Douglas. Hooper only has 2, but one's the big touchdown. Holland's coming through with 2 catches, but along at 27. Just, we talked a lot about this. Everybody contributed. Everyone was there. Nobody came out of this game feeling like they were a passenger. You needed all these guys to make a play, and it's what I've kind of been waiting for a little bit. And Boutte's been the consistent one. He's always going to come up with 2 or 3 important catches, but now to see the rest of the roster contribute those kind of catches, to me, and then the second part, which I'm sure we're shortly going to get to, the ability to be able to run the ball a little bit.
Yep.
You're starting to see what a fully well-rounded offense can do.
Yeah, and Stevenson would be that guy. I mean, 18 for 88, 4.9 touchdown. I thought he ran with conviction. I thought he looked a little bit more like his normal self today. Now, obviously, it helps to have the amount of room that they had.
Yeah.
Early on, there was some holes that he was able to shoot through, but he also made some guys miss today. And I thought avoided some negative plays in the backfield and was able to get 4 yards on a play that looked like it was going to be -2. But I thought a little bit more like the Ramondre that we've seen in the past today.
Just kind of striking distance early in the game with the amount of space that he had to work with, and he was decisive. And I thought he finished runs pretty well. Obviously protected the football. I think my question is, there was a little drop off. It felt like in the second half, he wanted to kind of run it out. Wasn't quite as easy as you might have hoped. But, for 2 guys, basically Stevenson carried the vast majority of the load. Henderson only had, 2 attempts. So it was a big day for Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, it was a Stevenson day.
But, got to get Terrell Jennings in there and get him some touches as well, which I think is, nice. But, give it up for Ramondre. A lot of volume today, and I think maybe some growing confidence from him. And I think we're going to hear from him in a minute, which will be fun to chat with him about the game for him.
Hopefully they'll be as enthused as Pop Douglas was last week. One person on my list, switching sides of the ball, Kayvon Chaisson, the TD, overall just making a statement on the field today. Despite, I know you weren't a big fan of the defense, but
no, the defense was fine today. I just don't think that they were as good as the numbers would show you, and the accolades they were getting in the second half by the broadcast crew. But Chaisson I thought was active in the game early on. I thought he had some good pressure. He blew up a potential end around. He made, I think it was DK, he made him go the long way around. He ended up getting a few yards, but, any chance of that being a big play was stopped by Chaisson's, penetration on the play. We'll just call it that. Just a little red zone interlude. I think that AJ Brown fantasy that people have had. I think that might have been completely disappeared today. Big day for AJ Brown, and looks like a big win for the Eagles on the road. But I had Chase on my list. A couple of sacks. I mean, you end up with it's funny, you end up with a sack, a forced fumble, a fumble return for a touchdown on a play he never made contact with Cam Wood. But I thought it was a good game for him overall.
Me too. Really active, and with Landry a little banged up, and didn't hear his name a lot, but I just think they need that athleticism on the end that Chase on brings, and anytime he's Johnny on the spot. I mean, look, catching that ball, no easy task, but he was really good, I thought. In a day where, they thought the defense just did just enough. And we'll get into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I also had Milton Williams, who I thought in the first half, when the Titans offense was playing well, they had a couple of plays that looked like, they were like 4 or 5 yard runs that looked like they had a chance for something, and then Milton Williams drags a guy down, or I think he blew up a screen, something that looked like they were trying to set up a screen at one point. And then he had a big sack in the second half with like on a 3rd and short, too. It was like a 3rd and 2 play action. He just completely blew the play up in the backfield. So Milton Williams, I thought, again today showed up.
Yeah. Solid performance.
Just reviewing my notes.
Okay,
here.
you
gonna do one?
It sounds like I'm trying to be funny, but I put Josh Dobson on there just because of the way, when we think next man up mentality,
Josh Dobbs is on my list.
No, okay. I know. I felt silly writing it, but I wanted to give him his flowers. Okay. Thank you for the affirmation.
It's another.
Kwani, go.
Kwani, go ahead.
No, but
Go
just
ahead.
going in the top of the third while Drake is in this, quick concussion protocol, getting that first reception right away.
Shrugged the guy off.
Yeah,
Converted the third down.
We were watching it like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? But
So that's the difference between 20 to 13 and 24 to 13.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's true.
So it's another example of, I'm not going to ask you to do a lot of things, but when I call on you, I need you to be ready.
Yeah.
Shakes a guy off.
So that was a good play by Dobbs, and I absolutely had him on my list for that.
I love it. I'm just going to throw Vrabel on there because 3 road wins. It's not easy to do in this league, and no matter who you're facing, there was a lot on this game. They didn't come out great on the defensive side of the ball, but I just think that this team to go on a 3-game road trip, something that's never been done in team history, to win 3 straight on the road in the regular season, really impressive. And
since 1961,
since the AFL
in the modern
days.
era.
Get
specific.
We get into
facts here.
The old. I know that's where you get confusing. The Patriots from the AFL, but I think he kept this team together. He kept this team focused. That kind of travel, never easy. Nobody loves having to get back on a plane 3 times in 3 weeks. So just kudos to Vrabel and his coaching staff keeping that team focused, and the ability to win 3 games on the road, not easy to do.
No, it's a good one. Mentally, physically, like time zone changes, packing your little things.
Did they change time zones?
Well, for New Orleans and then for Tennessee.
Yeah,
this would be a time.
I lose track. That's
an hour. I think that's an hour.
Map.
Maps are hard. So I also had Douglas because of that, that catch. And again, I thought he might have drifted. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm going to have to go back and look and maybe talk to the players themselves, but I'm wondering if that's one of those. Drake is looking for him to sit in that hole in the zone, and he keeps drifting. Be that as it may, that's a terrific one-handed catch on 4th down. Again, so now at that point, that's shortly after the Josh Dobbs completion. So if this falls incomplete, if that falls incomplete, you get no points, and you're still only up 17-13. I said to you, I would have kicked the field goal because I feel like the Patriots are completely dominating the game, and they're only up 4 points.
Yeah, right.
And I fortunately for Vrabel and the Patriots, Douglas comes up with a huge catch. But I had Douglas on my good list for that play, and he had the catch on 3rd down for Dobbs too. So they had big, those are big catches. Again, didn't ask you to do a lot, but when we called on you, 3 catches for 17 yards.
Yeah, nothing. I mean,
not
you look
great
at the
numbers.
box score, you're not to say
3 targets, 3 catches. I mean, everybody who got targeted today basically caught the ball. There were 2 incompletions the whole game. So
that goes back to just the overall complementary play from the other players and everybody stepping up and making contributions to the win. I imagine that helps feeling great about after a road win like this. You got this hard part of the schedule over with. You're going to come home. You're going to be at home the next 2 weeks. I imagine this is a pretty excited Patriots team.
Oh, you want to go back home?
Oh yeah.
All right. Who else do we have?
I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, I think
for me, generally speaking. I thought.
Well, that was about it for me. I had Christian Ellis had a big hit on a kickoff return, but that was like one of those individual plays. If we were looking for, that was it. I mean, I thought the offense was just terrific.
Yep.
Chef's kiss.
Well, let's flip it to the bads.
Let's look at the bad.
I'll just put with defensive start. I mean, once the game shifted, like I said, that 3 touchdown swing, 21-point swing. I mean, you went from being down 3 to up by a bunch. I thought that aided the defense but previous to that point, they're getting help from a holding call. They're getting help from a false start. The stops they did get, they needed some help from the calls. They weren't making a lot of plays. It just felt like they kind of came out flat.
First half, they really didn't come up with any stops.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, it felt like Spencer Rattler last week, where he's just completing everything. And last week it felt like, and this is on my initial impression, that Rattler made some throws under pressure, or at least with some guys in his face. Today, you're seeing some highlights right now where there's a pretty good pocket and time for him to kind of get through the progressions. The big touchdown to Marcus Jones, I kind of felt like was a pressure thing.
Jones and Woodson. Yeah, he had a lot of time. Jones and Woodson got lost.
He's running across the field. I mean, it's hard to ask a cornerback to chase the whole length of the field when that guy has that much time. So
that's why I put Woodson in there. I think he's supposed to be over the top there. Yeah.
So that one, I mean, it's just, I just was not, I mean, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but this is kind of what the defense does. And, so far the offense lately has been so dominant that they're able to kind of control the game. It doesn't feel like the defense can control the game right now. It seems like they're kind of at the mercy right now of how the game is unfolding. And do they have, some help? They need someone to step up and make a play, and then they seem to play a little bit better.
And I agree, Mike. You're going to look at this. The offense, this was an old school Patriots win where the offense bludgeoned the other team to death.
Yeah.
And then got them in a situation they weren't comfortable in, and that's when the Patriots defense started to look better. But even then, they come out with a double score, which ended the game, right? You score at the end of the half to go up 17-13. You get the ball to start the second half and go up 24-13. I don't know if it may have been the first play. I think it was the first play after that. The quarterback just dropped the ball. I mean, let's call it what it was. He just dropped the ball. He was trying to make a pass, and the ball slipped out of his hands, bounces up to Chase on. It's 31-13. The game's over.
Yeah.
And then, from that point on, I think it was something like the next 3 drives, the Titans got nothing going. But now you have total control of the game because of what your offense did. Sleepy start to the game. I agree with Mike's bad list for that one. Now, you look at the numbers at the end, 255 yards. Titans were 3 for 10 on third down, 2 turnovers. You look at it like, another great performance by the defense.
Yeah, not really.
I will say they did play better in the second half. I thought they took some of those quick throws to tight ends and crossing routes to the receivers. I thought they did a better job of in the second half. But I came away relatively impressed with Cam Ward. I thought that he showed some signs of promise. He's got to eliminate the turnovers. You can't turn it. He's kind of like Drake Maye a little bit last year. When you have a lot of opportunities, you don't have a lot of help around you, and you're turning the ball over once or twice every game. You can't win that way.
Just real quick, just to chime in with some of the next gen stats that are now populating. It was they gave the Patriots a 33.3% pressure rate, which is below the league average. It's one of their lower performances of the year. So the next gen stats would back up not great pressure from the Patriots today. And for the Titans, 38.9, which is slightly better. Not terrible for the Patriots offensive line.
I didn't think it was terrible.
But decent pressure rate.
But I do think it was there. And
why do we think that was? A certain player? Let's put Jared Wilson.
Yeah, I think Jared Wilson seemed to struggle a little bit. They got beat badly with a blitz late in the game. 4 sacks. I mean, you were dominant offensively, and you were running the ball really, really well. You didn't have a lot of situations where they could pin their ears back, and 4 sacks is a good amount.
Yeah.
Now, the Patriots had 5 sacks, but one of them was the ball that the guy just dropped. I thought that they had decent pressure. I'm surprised. That number's a little lower than I thought it would be for the Patriots. I thought in the second half it seemed...
Yeah, it might have been skewed a little bit. I mean, it's not terrible. It's about average.
But I do agree with you. I thought the Patriots allowed a little more pressure than you'd like. I thought some of the throws were real quick throws today too to mitigate
when
that.
it's your left guard. If your left guard's giving up a couple sacks, those are usually
I think
pressures in the face ASAP. You know?
I think there were 3 that he was involved with today. I saw a lot of the back of his jersey.
Well, why don't we check the next gen stats here real quick and see what
the numbers telling us?
they got? Yeah, they credited Wilson with 5 quarterback pressures and 2 sacks. They gave 6 pressures to Will Campbell and 1 sack to Will Campbell.
Oh, is this a first? I don't believe Will Campbell's ever given up a sack.
It is possible, and 3 of them 3 to Campbell and 2 to Wilson were credited as quick pressures. Otherwise, the other guys, Micah Onwenu, pretty good day for him as far as these stats are concerned. 1 pressure. Garrett Bradbury, 3 pressures, 1 sack, so he was a little bit behind the 2 rookies.
So one of the sacks that I credited to Wilson, they probably credited
maybe
to
the one you were talking
Bradbury.
about.
It looked like, they got split. I think Tavondre Sweat might have split between them very quickly, and I thought it was Wilson, but they must have said it was Bradbury. But I would just say it's still a work in progress. That offensive line is so much better than it was last year, but it's still got a ways to go to be where they need it. And I think what it does, Mike, is it really accentuates how well Drake Maye's playing, because I don't think he's been protected exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I had the O-line on my list as well. And I mean, even the scare of Drake going into concussion protocol, it was their fault, isn't in theory. So the fact that he's not getting that full protection. Well, I mean, the ground
that's him running.
the helmet.
That's going to happen. He runs a lot, and
for sure.
he's going to get tackled.
Yeah, but
and that's all that was.
It's scary every time. Like I know,
it is.
I'm not used to this. You never.
And watching his head bounce twice, I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Not good. Luckily, Drake came charging out of the
as if nothing had happened.
out of the tent.
Seamless.
So I had some more.
Please.
More bad.
So I think the first 3 times the special teams were on the field, it was not good.
Oh yeah.
You get a touchback to open the game. Now I'm going to mitigate that a little bit because it certainly seemed like the wind affected some of those kickoffs. Joey Sly had one go out of bounds. I think Borregales had 2 touchbacks, but the second kick that he was able to keep in play, they allow him to return it out to the 41-yard line. And then the first punt, they allow a 15-yard punt return. So I like the special teams weren't quite buttoned up, I didn't think, today, to start the game. Fortunately, it didn't really cost them much, but you're allowing, the first 3 possessions I think the Titans had started at the 35, the 41, and the 35. I mean, that's not good.
Yep. I don't know if I have anything else, Paul.
No, I thought the offense was so good today.
That we didn't write that much
and
down.
even the offensive line we're talking about, they did a much better job run blocking today. Even them, I don't really feel great about having on the bad list. I just thought offensively they were so good today. They were able to run and throw with reasonably equal effectiveness. That's kind of what you're looking for.
It's just amazing what big plays can do for an offense and the complexion of the game and how you feel about the control of the game. And for so long over the last few years, it just feels like as soon as you're in a little, like a 10-point hole, and I was kind of getting like the flashbacks to that early in the game where it was, 10-3. It's like now nothing, but still you just remember how hard it has been for this team to climb out of holes, to reverse the momentum. And now with Drake Maye, it's not only his ability to throw the ball down the field, but he doesn't seem rattled. He seems cool, calm, and collected, and the team seems to be feeding off of that. So it's, if they could ever get this run game going consistently from start to finish, they would be a very, very tough offense to contend with.
So the injured, really not much, a lot on the Titan side, but I did want to note the Jeffrey Simmons going out early in the game, questionable with that left hamstring. Do you two think that affected anything about this game?
Definitely.
I don't. I mean, I think
even when he was in there early on,
I think he's a tremendous player, but they weren't. They were running all over him when he was in there. They were obviously running away from him. They made a big deal out of that on the broadcast, but I don't think it had a big impact on the game.
Away, and that's a secondary you can target, and it's just like again, it's just when you
can make an argument
there's only so much you could do.
You can make an argument that maybe the deep passing started after he left. Maybe they felt a little bit more comfortable. It's one of those things you can't tell because you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it certainly didn't help Tennessee's cause to have their best player back.
Right. On top of
and their second too. No, I saw Barmore go out with like a limp shoulder. I don't know if that was a stinger.
Yeah, or was it
stingers?
a
Those
stinger?
are always.
He was back in the game.
He was
Very
back
quickly.
in there. Drake obviously went into
yeah.
concussion protocol for a brief moment, but
Ran out
he
as
came
if,
back in. I didn't see anything else. I didn't
No,
even
that was
see
all I
Carlton
think.
Davis. Have his
No, I don't
week.
think he left the game today.
yeah.
Harold Landry looked like he was sort of being spotted a little bit early in the game, but
Yeah.
then he was out there. He had a sack in the second half, which I'm sure felt real good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really notice much in the way of injuries today for the
same.
Patriots.
we like that. That's
That
what
might
we like
be the
to
best
hear.
news of all. This was a little
What
scary
is
here
this?
with Drake.
Oh yeah. Why are you playing this again?
Yeah. Never again. Burn the tape.
But I'm glad they checked him out. That was, like you said, very important that they did.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
It took a while.
But I just, as soon as it happened, I looked and I was like, now,
Yeah.
if they're doing it right, he should have to come out of the game and get checked, because you could definitely see him get up and sort of
Wobble, yep.
you know.
Yeah. Another just another little interesting stat here.
What's interesting,
from
Mike?
Next Gen, Patriots played a ton of zone coverage in this game. Their highest percentage of zone coverage since Miami. They've been a heavy man team, but they played 88% zone today. Or sorry, 84%, 84.6. So 85% zone today, and that would rank. Yeah, I mean, they were 87 against the Dolphins. Otherwise, it's all been around 70. So they seem like, and maybe that's part of kind of what the problem is a little bit with the defense was, let's just play zone, let's sit back, let's wait for
Maybe
him to
they're
make
searching,
a mistake
they're trying
again.
to figure something out, because they're doing a lot of zones, they're doing a lot of mans, and whatever they're doing ain't working.
Yeah.
Because they remain, kind of down the bottom of those pass defense statistics. But at the end of the day, you're only allowing 13 points.
Right.
So they'll take it.
Right.
I know, it's one of
I mean,
those things.
You take some, you lose some.
it's
Win some, you
it's
lose some.
kind of counterintuitive, but
Yeah.
it's working for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, even, Teron Davenport, we talked to him in the pregame show saying, they're probably going to have cat coverage and stuff, and I guess they just, I don't know. I mean, it's, Zach Core talking this week.
I thought he
saying
was
they're still-
talking about Legarius Sneed.
Oh, was that their side? I
Yeah.
said cat coverage. I thought he was talking about our guys. That's all.
Yeah.
You get that, cat, I get
Right.
it.
Which, by the way, Legarius Sneed did not play well in this game for the
No.
Titans.
No, and then he went out. So, I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. But like I was saying, Zach Core talking that a lot of new guys, we're still kind of figuring it out. Well, all right, we're getting to the end of October. Like,
Right.
I'd like to see this defense really start to come out and, dictate a little bit. It just feels like they're a speed bump right now until Drake and the offense can get out and put some points on, and then the complexion of the game changes, and now they've got to throw the ball a bunch, and all right, now we're going to cook. I think it's a tough way to live, especially
you,
against
Mike.
the good teams, and I mean, looking at the passers coming up, it's it's not going to be great next week with Dylan Gabriel, and after that, Michael Penix, it gets a little better. Then you get Baker Mayfield, so maybe we have to wait until that point to really see this defense have their feet stuck against the fire and to see what they really have
And
when
the
they know
schedule
this
has
is going
been
to be a good
so
team.
easy. They haven't had any of these teams that are capable of, I don't think the Titans are capable of playing much better than that offensively based on their rankings coming into the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 30th, 31st, or 32nd in like 9 different categories. And they go out and they put 255 yards and 13 points on the board. That's what they do. Like that's as good. I mean, the quarterback was 25 for 34 for 255.
Yep.
With a touchdown and a late pick off a deflection. They're not capable of playing any better than that. But so, like, to Mike's point, maybe when you see Atlanta, maybe when you see Tampa, and there's teams that are capable of playing offense well for more than a quarter or a quarter and a half, the way that the last couple of weeks have gone, maybe we'll get a better gauge as to where this defense sits.
Yeah,
I think it's good. Like, the defense has been good, but it's, I think, been a little bit misleadingly good. I think that the result has been much better than
Because of the offense.
the journey.
Yeah.
The end result has been better than the journey.
Yeah, and I wonder about the approach and looking at a first-year quarterback. Last week you had quarterback in his second year getting his whatever it was 5th start. Do they get more aggressive right out of the gate against someone like Baker Mayfield, where it's like we can't sit back and kind of wait? We'll see. I still think that this defense and with Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis, they're meant to play man coverage and to just man up like that. But I don't know. The matchups right now are making me feel like they're getting a little cute with stuff.
All right, and just like that, we have Ramondre Stevenson joining us here on the Patriots Postgame Show. Welcome in.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Hey,
We're
Ramondre.
doing well.
So how are you feeling there? Seems like you guys got off to a good start, some good space for you to run early on. Did that kind of set the tone for you having a good day?
Yeah, that definitely set the tone. The O-line was moving them guys up front and giving me plenty of lanes to run through. So, yeah, all thanks to them.
We know that the Titans' rushing defense has struggled this season overall. Is there anything that you saw in particular that made you maximize on them early?
No, I wouldn't say that on film. Honestly, they're an active defense. They got a good front seven, but I feel like our O line went in. Vrabel kind of challenged us to run the ball this week, so I feel like we did a great job of that.
Reminder, when we listen to Mike Vrabel talk during the course of the week, there are times when he sort of harps on one particular thing, and then we see that on Sunday. This week, he talked a lot about the running game and sort of needing to get it going. Was that something that got you excited heading into this game, knowing that you were going to be a big part of the game plan?
Yeah. Just all the backs, we took the challenge. The O-line took the challenge, and I feel like we did a great job of that. Got to go back and look at the film, but I feel like we were efficient on the run.
Reminder, just what's the feeling in the locker room? You guys, 3 straight wins on the road. I know it's not easy to win on the road in the NFL. What can you guys take from this, 3-game stretch where you really played well on the road three straight times?
Yeah, just look at the film and see what we did well. See why we won those games. See how we could, tighten up and things like that. But it's great winning on the road. It's hard to do it, like you said. So I'm just excited about it and gonna, enjoy this win for the next day or two.
Yeah, Vrabel definitely preaches enjoy it till tonight, and then you guys move on to the next game. But for you personally, what are you taking away from this win as you head into Week 8?
Just be myself. Don't let ball security, kind of crutch me a little bit. Just run with what I see. Run how I know how to run, and everything else will come with it.
All right, Ramondre, we'll let you enjoy the win.
Yes.
3-game road trip, 3-0 on that road trip. It's got to feel pretty satisfying for you. Have a safe trip back.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Ramondre.
Congrats. Yeah, I thought he was terrific. He talked about the ball security, which I know it sounds funny, but I like the way he talks about it. And I know that every's going to be like, I don't care.
Aspect, though.
I don't care. He's got to hold on to the ball. But it's exactly what Kwani's saying. Like he's recognizing that he's wearing it. There's an accountability there. And, today I didn't see any signs of any issues. There's been a little talk the last couple of weeks about, are you running a little bit more cautiously in an effort to do that? I didn't see any signs of that today. Yeah. Saw the old Ramondre today.
Yeah.
No, he's such an X factor for this team. And going back to what I said in the pregame show, asking a lot to have him do this 18. 18 isn't crazy, but again, the game was kind of out of hand. They could take him out of the game. So, if they were really having to play this whole game, it was going to be a 20, 22, 23 carry kind of a day for him. So I don't think that's sustainable, but if he can continue to kind of run with confidence and, when you asked him, like, what can he take from this? I'm like, I hope it's a budding confidence of, I can handle the ball almost 20 times and, put some of this stuff behind me, build some confidence. There's no question. They're not going to find a better running back than Ramondre Stevenson on the market right now. So he's got to be the guy to lead the way. And, getting these games where he plays well, he gets some confidence, it's huge for the offense. And, it's huge for Drake and really seeing how high, what is this offensive ceiling? That's what I want to find out now. And you're going to need Ramondre Stevenson to find out.
They must have been watching the pregame show when we mentioned the trade
I hope
deadline.
They weren't.
Right, actually, as well.
They should be getting ready for the game.
Right. All right, we're getting calls and emails, of course. And Christian in LA, I think you called before the show started, so I'm going to prop you up first. Hi, Christian.
Yeah, hey, you guys.
Hey.
Hi. Happy win. Happy Sunday. Thank you for taking my call once again. Great game. Nothing really to nitpick. I was a little upset about the zone defense in the beginning. I just don't think we are made for zone defense. Like you guys said, we have the dogs to man up on guys. Like their receivers should not have scared us into zone defense. So I don't know why we were in zone defense. I was just phenomenally pleased with Drake Maye. I have come 100% into this guy's camp. This kid is phenomenal. He's already bested Brady in a completion percentage.
Okay,
that's phenomenal in itself, right? So he's the real deal. My only nitpick would be I'm afraid, guys, that we're going to turn out to be a paper tiger this year. What do I mean by that? We'll probably wind up in the playoffs, right? Because we're playing good and we have a light schedule, but then we'll likely kind of run up against a really good team and lose in the playoffs and be in not a great position to get a good draft choice. But yes, being in the playoffs is good. So that's my only thing that I have to say is how real can this be and how deep can we go? And is it time to spend the money and get a dog receiver this time? He's ready. Let's do it. Let's spend the money.
I say take it game by game. Don't stress about the playoffs just yet. But I get it.
He never ceases to amaze me.
He's speechless. You got Paul Perillo speechless.
So, all right, I'm gonna play.
Please.
I'll play, Alex. Who's the team like that you would say, well, good little run we had here, but it's going to end now? Who's the team?
I mean, along the way.
This is like the worst NFL that we've had in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, there's no great team. Nobody has emerged as like, wow, they're really good.
Yeah.
So why are you fearful that when you get up against quote unquote a good team, you won't be able to compete? You've played one good team out of the what? How many games they play? 7 games now. 5-2.
5-2.
You played one good team out of the 5 that you out of the 7 that you've played, and you beat them in their place on Sunday Night Football, right? So why would you like? Even if you were going to Buffalo for a playoff game, why would you go into that game and say, well, you know, we're not going to, I'm afraid we won't be able to compete?
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And why would you worry about that at this point? Instead of being, you know, excited that you have a quarterback who's going to obviously give you a chance to win every game.
Week by week.
You know, we just talked about the zone and man thing. They haven't played either one of them well. So I'm not killing the coaches. I don't know why they went predominantly zone today, but I think they're searching for answers. They're trying to figure out why they can't stop the pass.
Yeah.
When they don't get pressure.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a question for Mike Vrabel and Zach Core, but I couldn't be more excited about this offense. They haven't had an offense like this since 16, 17.
Yeah.
It's been a while. They haven't had an offense that's been capable of scoring, you know, virtually every time they get the ball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you talk about being concerned about the defense and not thinking they're going to be able to stop good offenses, it's like, are we looking at shootouts now? But at least you feel like, oh, we could probably at least compete. I mean, you know, if you had some of the old quarterbacks here from the last few years, you don't feel that good about it. But you know, my concern now is just, you know, getting this defense to a point where they can come out, play well, and you know, match up against some of these better teams. But it'll be really, I mean, it's going to be really interesting. I mean, next week it's Dylan Gabriel. You know, I do think Cleveland's got some pieces on offense. They've got a very good defense. It's very physical, and that's going to be a lot of challenges for Drake Maye. So, you know, next week could be the week where, you know, it isn't quite as easy to put 30 plus on the board, and you know, the defense has got to make a few more plays early than they had to make today.
Yeah, and this one was a little deceptive because I think the way the game just changed in a blink with that 21-point barrage. They scored 21 points in the span of about 5 plays.
Just changed the game so quick.
But, I mean, in reality, it's another 24-point game. You know, and offensively, I think they look like they should have scored more than that today. But I do think this was one of those games they throttled it down. Like, you get to the middle of the third quarter and you know you have enough points to win. Let's just make sure you know, take care of business, run the clock, get out of here. And I'm not saying they just ran the ball into the ground because they kept throwing. But
at one point, you're like, why is Drake still in this game?
yeah, well, not so much in the game, but, you know, we were in a drop-back passing game when we had a 31-13 lead, and he's taking some shots. Like that safety blitz, that blitz from, I think it was Cedric Gray, the linebacker blitz at the end of the game. Like, that was a hit he didn't need to be taken. But offensively, again, 31, you know, there wasn't really 31. It was really 24. Like, they should be able to, I feel like they should be in the 30s on their own, and they really haven't been in the 30s on their own. All the games that they've been 30, there's been either a special teams or a defensive touchdown.
Yeah. But you make it wonder what's going to happen if they do have to go toe-to-toe with somebody.
But I do think today, just to be, you know, in full, you know, I want to be full disclosure, I think today, had they not gotten the defensive score and they continued to play offense the way they, you know, they would have kept scoring. I think that they throttled it down a little bit.
Yeah. It's just, Drake's got that thing now where you can just tell when a guy's in rhythm, and you can just tell before the ball leaves his hand if it's going to be complete or not, because you could just tell by the timing of it. And, you know, he's locked in, and if it continues, it's trouble.
We like to see it. All right, let's head to Salem, where Aiden is.
Oh, man.
Oh, it must be crazy already.
In the thick of Halloween time.
How's Salem treating you, Aiden? Aiden, are you with us? Guess not. All right. We're going to move on to Jason and Savannah. Hello, Jason.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm at the point where I think I'm going to take a moment of silence for the rest of the NFL. I think their worst nightmares come back at this point. But other than that, I wasn't able to keep track of the game completely just watching NFL Red Zone. But how bad has the penalties been so far, at least in that game? It's been kind of a mess everywhere else in the league.
No, penalties weren't an issue today for anybody. The refs were not really involved in the game at all today.
Refreshing. That's what we like to see.
I actually said in the middle of the fourth quarter, it's refreshing that we haven't time to talk about the refs all day.
Exactly.
I was gonna say after last week and how many penalties there were, really felt like we need to start doing an over/under on penalty calls.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they only had 5 today. Titans had 3. So again. You jump offside, or you have a guy, they got called for too many men in the huddle on a play. Penalties that you have to call, but not really a factor today.
Nice. At least it was not ridiculous, and I can appreciate that.
Right. Thanks, Jason.
All right. Thank you.
All right, let's take it to Sean in Florida. Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Paul, my fellow Southpaw, I agree completely with the contributions from other players, like you mentioned, with that catch where it was kind of lofted up a bit, and Booty came back for his first catch to make that exception. That was amazing fighting that made Drake look good as well in the fourth quarter when Pop was I think it was fourth down, reached out and to his side and made that catch, and that
was a big play.
Big help. Big play for sure.
That allows you to put the game away.
Yeah, I have one question though. Do you think the Titans in the first quarter, or maybe even the first half, were having a lighter box, and that led to some success, even more success for Mondre? So I'll leave you on that. Go Pat.
My guess is yes, but when you're watching on TV, you can't always tell that. But my guess is they probably made some adjustments in the second half and did that. But the thing that would encourage me the most is, if they were doing that, so you're playing too high and maybe trying to take the stuff away down the field, they weren't able to take that away. Maye was still making them pay for that. So first half offensively was as good as you can get. I mean, they had the one punt, but then they scored the other 3 times they had the ball, right?
Yeah. I can share some of the numbers from
Mike.
Next Gen.
I would love it if you would share that with us and not hog all the information on your own.
No, it's nice to have, look, it's only one piece of the pie, and this isn't the gospel of what, this is one outlet's impression of it. I always do. But against the light box, 6 attempts, 43 yards, a 7.2 yards per carry, 3 successful runs, 2 10-plus yards against the light box. Against a neutral box with 7 defenders, 44% of his attempts, 8 attempts, 41 yards, 5.1 yards per carry, 4 successful carries, 3 were stuffed, and 1 10-plus yards. So yeah, he did definitely have some better success on those 6 attempts against the lighter box with 2 big runs off of those. Against a stack box, just 4 yards on 4 carries, just one of those being successful, 2 run stuff. So yeah, maybe they did take a little bit of an advantage of the lighter box, but that's a good place to start. Hopefully they're able to, continue to build off of that. As we kind of intimated, and I was kind of saving this till after we talked to Ramondre.
Yeah.
Just felt in the second half there was no room. There was no room for them to run. There were more stuff runs. The first half, first quarter especially, it just felt like, wow, there's some room there today. Now, maybe that was, you can break it down by quarter and all that stuff. Maybe it was early on. They just came out saying, we're going to dare you to run it. But you got to start somewhere. I guess we'll take it for today.
Yeah. I think you might appreciate this email, Paul. So we talk about a lot of times Drake Maye's skill set versus Josh McDaniels' play calling. So Speed in Fresno said in the offseason there was much consideration that Josh's offense might be putting too much on Drake's plate. Clearly that take age like milk. But how is it in the reverse true that Josh has adjusted to his scheme to maximize on Drake's skill set? It's a great marriage, and Drake is awesome, but Josh deserves huge credit too, says Speed.
Yeah, I mean, I see some of them, moving in the pocket a little bit, some of the mobility stuff, but I mean, whatever he's doing, the kid understands what he's selling right now, and he looks comfortable.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is Drake Maye. I mean, I'm sorry, he's not throwing to wide open guys all over the field. He's dropping balls into, these shots on the sideline. He had 2 within a span of about 3 plays. One on the left sideline, one on the right sideline, one to Booty, one to Hollins. Like, these are throws that not every guy in the NFL will even attempt.
Yeah.
And, the one that Mike talked about earlier in the second half to Diggs down the sideline, guy's right on him. The touchdown throw to Hooper, guy's right on him. Like, the guy's playing at an exceptionally high level right now. If you want to give that all that credit to the offensive coordinator, I love Josh McDaniels as much as anyone here. Mike and I had an unbelievable sit down with him like 2 years ago where we broke down all of Tom Brady's highlights. I'll talk Josh McDaniels with you all day.
Yeah.
I love the guy. I really do. I really enjoy talking to the guy. This is about Drake Maye.
Mm-hmm.
He's lifted his game to a whole different level. This isn't just about schemes. This is about Drake Maye playing at an exceptionally high level.
But can't both things be true?
Yep.
I just because sometimes we get into this
but
I don't think anyone's saying this is all Josh McDaniels. I just think as much as a coach can get credit for a great player, I think you have to give Josh that credit. And I'm not saying, you're right. The majority of the credit belongs to Drake Maye, but
so now I'm with you. If we can do it that way. I'm hearing
not
like
fully.
The like a lot of the media I'm hearing all about like, well,
play calling.
He's scheming this up and setting this play up here and that play here. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. You can scheme up all the plays you want. If you don't have a guy that's capable of physically making the plays like he has, it doesn't work.
I think for me what stands out though is just watching an offense the last 3 years that didn't look very coordinated, and it made players look probably worse than they even were. And there was no understanding of sequencing of plays or knowing, what buttons to push. And
that throw was sick.
But Paul's right. Drake deserves the majority of the credit, but I look at it as teaching. And does the student look like he's understanding what the teachers are telling him right now? Yeah, it does. And it's looked like that from the summer. It's never, looked like what the hell's going on out there. They can't get a playoff. So just for me, like, it's hard to like extract the coaching from the players sometimes, but when you've seen some bad coaching over the last couple of years, it just makes me appreciate a little bit more that you've got a confident guy who knows what he's doing.
Yeah, well, I'll give McDaniels credit is the pocket presence that Maye has shown, the ball security in the pocket, the two-hand rip-throughs, the footwork, the moving around, that kind of stuff. I think that's been drilled into him. Now, whether Ashton Grant gets that credit, because I know that's what Vrabel has been talking about a little bit. Thomas Brown, with the passing game coordinator, maybe some of these different guys, these different voices coming in and helping Josh a little bit. Maybe it's a collaborative. I will give the coaching a lot of credit for that because he looks like a different guy in the pocket. Yeah. The physical execution of these plays is some of these plays are very, very high level of execution. And I hear
what you're saying because I look at when we watched him in training camp as a rookie last year without even really any coaching, and he's making these crazy downfield throws. His first touchdown throw to Booty last year against the Texans, that kind of throw. That physical talent to put the ball downfield, an absolute pinpoint accuracy, like that is a Drake Maye gift that he has confidence. I think Josh was asked a couple of weeks ago, do you find him getting more confident on the down? He's like, he's never that confident.
Yeah, right.
Like that is true. And I say from when we've seen this kid, he is not afraid to whip it downfield. And now he's, he's hitting Booty down the field like left and right. So it's just it's all clicking right now. And no matter how you want to divvy up any pie, like Drake Maye is en fuego. And if he can maintain this, then he's going to have the Patriots in a lot of really good
conversations. Mike, you actually just nailed it right there. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares who's got to get the
part
credit?
Of the pie, and then I'm this much. And
who cares who's got to get the credit?
As long as they're winning.
Bottom
Drake's
line is
dad
the offense
gave him the size, and
the offense is playing at such a high level.
His mom played basketball.
His brothers beat the crap out of him and made him like really competitive.
Everyone gets credit. All right, we still have so much to talk about here on the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This Patriots Postgame Show is brought to you by Massachusetts 250 campaign, commemorating a history of possibility. Plan your revolutionary weekend at massachusetts250.org. And by Brunt Workwear. They make work boots and apparel that are built for the job site. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and named after the real workers in the trades that help design it. Save $10 on your first order at bruntworkwear.com/Pats or with coupon code PATS.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas. And the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
This Patriots Postgame show is brought to you by Pepsi. Game day is here, so stock up now. Grab a refreshing Pepsi Zero Sugar 12-pack now because tailgating deserves better. And by Tostitos. Football fans know traditions matter. They are what inspires us to make our masa and Tostitos the traditional way, starting with whole corn kernels. Discover your next tradition this football season. Head to the store, grab your Tostitos team bag, and scan the code for a chance to score an epic experience with the Patriots. Tostitos, tradition matters.
We want to hear from you. So call the hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at podcasts@patriots.com. Now, back to the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings.
Welcome back into the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings. And Deuce, take it away.
It's time for our special segment here presented by Autodesk, Building a Legacy. It's time now for Building the Next Legacy, presented by Autodesk, the official design and make platform for the New England Patriots. Autodesk Construction Cloud is a platform trusted by contractors, owners, and our New England Patriots to design and build the next legacy. Guys, the thing to build off of today, it's Ramondre Stevenson for me. That run game, signs of life. I know it's not a great run defense. I know it didn't look great in the second half. But 18 carries, held onto the ball, had a touchdown. Saw what this offense can look like with a little bit of complementary football, not just all on Drake Maye. So that's what I'm taking to build off of from this one. Find a way to keep Ramondre on the field, holding onto the ball, making positive yardage. They can build off of that. Look out for this Patriots offense. They'll really, I think, round it out and be truly deadly. So there it is, folks. You're building a legacy.
Yeah, we talked about the accountability and the confidence. It's all there, so we'll see how he does next week.
All right.
All right, we're going to take a quick break once again, but stick around. Don't go anywhere, please.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas. And the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex, this contours to it. So the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience.
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas. And the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
The future with AI will twist and turn. Cisco is the critical infrastructure for the AI era, clearing your path to wide open possibility. Cisco.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad.
Hey, watch it.
It's from Gillette Labs. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face.
Game changer.
While the Flex Disc contours to it, so the 5 blades can get virtually every hair in one stroke. For the ultimate Gillette shaving experience,
The best a man can get
is Gillette Labs.
Let there be ideas too big to stay ideas, and the software to make them soar. Let there be anything. Autodesk.
We want to hear from you. So call the hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at podcasts@patriots.com. Now, back to the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings.
Thanks for sticking with us here on the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings. We have an addition to the table. Matt Smith is here. Paul Perillo, of course. And Mike Dussault, you are suffering from injury right now.
So a little bit of an ankle injury today, and a coach in a flag football game. The coach got injured, but I think
Coach
I'm all right.
Deuce.
I'm going to power through the last 45 minutes.
In case you're wondering, he lost again.
Really?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, 1-3.
Changes need to be made.
You should just stick to this right here.
I know. You'd think with all the brilliant analysis I provide that
You
I'd
could
be able
coach.
to
Changes
coach
are
a
coming.
10-year-old flag football team, but apparently not.
I think you could get better. You'll get better.
What are the vibes in here, ladies and gentlemen?
Very high. Immaculately.
The Drake May hype train, Matt, is just left the station.
No,
He's a
no room
conductor.
left.
I just,
No, you could get on.
Everyone's welcome.
They didn't leave yet.
I'll
is
let
good.
people on.
Yeah, I'll let people on, not dogs.
Told you
though.
last year who I would take him over. Everybody.
Yeah, I mean he looks like
I'm
it now.
consistent.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Any sliding questions or concerns or anything like that?
What do you mean by sliding?
Drake May
Just puts himself in harm's way.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Too often.
Yeah, no, it's scary. It's a thrill ride watching it. I mean,
He's a brave man.
Yeah, I mean it's I mean what Buffalo Bills fans must feel watching Josh Allen when he runs the ball, takes the matters into his own hands. It's exciting and great to have that ability on a second or third down and long that everybody's covered and the quarterback's able to run, but you know that it comes with a level of risk with this kind of quarterback.
And there were big plays in the game. Like those are big conversions. Like you got to take. He's going to get nicked up. We know that, but yeah, I don't have any issues.
Yeah, we have film of him running right now, but I think the biggest concern was that concussion protocol earlier today. But if you have a quarterback that can extend the play and move the chains, I think you're never going to be mad about that.
On that
yeah,
play right
just
there?
this play we're watching right here for those watching the video
That was-
where he had a little scramble at the middle
Because
and it
he
just
takes
felt
a
like
hit here.
he got the first down and then and he fumbled it kind of too.
And he just
but
pops
yeah,
back
it's kind of
up
the
every
ball.
time.
Three times. I thought they did it. I was surprised, but they mentioned that. There's 3 times the ball ended up sort of loose, and I think he was probably down on all 3 of them. But
Charles Davis said something during the telecast that they got to clean it up. I agree with that. And you
so that would be my concern is the ball more so than him. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, Matt. About there's some times I think he could have probably gotten the first down and gotten down like he did on that play. He was a yard short of the first down. That they just showed. No need to take any extra hits. I agree.
I mean, no disrespect to Josh Dobbs, who came in. That was a nice brush off the guy and make the completion, everything like that. But at 17-13 and Maye's over to the sideline, I think people are going, what's going on here a little bit? And you can see what's life going to look like without Drake May.
Well,
I don't think people want to see that.
No.
Again, no disrespect.
I don't want to see it. No.
So that's my only point about just reaffirming maybe the coaching staff. Got to be careful.
I would
live
say
to play another.
Yeah, I would say
down.
he's improved on it. But
I agree
still
with you.
feel like there's a middle ground that he needs to kind of find where it still feels a little bit on the risky side with some of these. Where, I mean, I've always said it. There's just nothing more demoralizing than when the quarterback just gets the first down, takes a little slide, pops back up, and then drops the ball up. Instead of trying to get those 2 extra yards and kind of getting pinballed between 2 defensive backs for a couple extra yards.
You guys are right. He did that a couple of times today.
And it's almost like that is that gives the defense yeah, I got that, but we got a little hit on him. Whereas when he just pops up untouched and does the little flip,
right,
here we go again, first down. We got to figure out a way to stop this guy. I'd like to see the balance a little bit better, but that's going to be his game. You don't want to take that away from him.
Sure. Right. Like Speed emailed about Josh putting too much on Drake's plate, but I think now it seems like he's putting too much on his plate, thinking he has to carry. Yes, he carries the offense, literally, but to your point,
no question,
being careful for sure.
So let's go into the locker room. The story of the day going into the game was the return of Mike Vrabel, and let's hear from the Patriots head coach after their win today.
I think an emotional game, emotional stretch for us. I meant something that this team and organization hasn't done, and it's done a lot. And again, that doesn't do anything, but again, the grind of coming back and getting prepared and staying in the game. We've played really well in the second half. That's what I'm really proud of. And sometimes you don't always know how these games are going to go. And, we certainly have to start faster, but really proud of the way that we've played, giving up 3 points in the last 2 halves of football. Offensively, really, if we don't beat ourselves, it's been a good product and was that same way today. I love the fact that we're finishing with the football. Special teams, unfortunately, with a penalty, but we had some good kick coverage, some inconsistent kick coverage. So again, there were some good ones and there's some bad ones, and that's kind of where it's been. But in the end, I felt like we did enough. So excited for these guys, and I appreciate the support of our fans to come down here and be excited and be into the football game. And we got to continue to give them things to cheer about and to travel and to come back and play really well at home. So that's what I'm proud of. I'm happy for these players, to have a little bit of momentum and to continue to build it throughout the week. It's not just the running back. And again, we say the running back doesn't do a good job and we got to run it better, but we got to block better. And I felt like there were some running lanes, and when there weren't, we were able to stick it downhill and be able to push some piles. We had some double-digit runs. We had some dirty runs. It was great to see us finish there at the end. So I think it's always a combination. And we took care of the football, and that's really the formula. And they made a mistake there that we were able to capitalize on. Going on the road to Miami and having a difficult environment to play, and the heat and the back and forth, and I felt like that told us a lot about who we were. We just we kind of dipped our toe in the water the first game, and I was really proud of what they did in practice and going down there, and I think that really showed them. It's always been a tough place for us to play. So I think that was really important for us, and that created a lot of positive momentum. We didn't get discouraged when we had a bunch of turnovers, but had a chance against Pittsburgh, and then we played some pretty decent football, and we played good enough to win.
That last answer in reference to a question, when did you start to see that maybe your team was building or growing a little something? And it started with, going down to Miami, winning a place that's not very easy. If I may digress for a second, a little nerdy media stuff, inside media stuff with Coach Vrabel.
Get in there.
In the pregame, ESPN and Mike Reese did a really nice piece on the fact that Mike calls on, in Tennessee, it was a woman by the name of Teresa, who worked for the Associated Press, always called on her first. Oh, yeah. And now here in New England, he's carried over that tradition with Karen Garrigan. So a nice little piece. He's answering questions in the postgame, and Dan Roach, our friend from WBZ TV4, asked a question. He goes, wait a minute. He goes, did you just celebrate 25 years at WBZ? And Roach goes, yeah. He goes, that's a hell of a job, man. Congratulations on that. Good for Mike. Doesn't have to do it. Recognizes Teresa in the AP with Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Karen here with Mass Live says something to Dan Roach. I just thought that was kind of a classy move by him.
Very refreshing.
Didn't recognize my 25th anniversary.
They didn't have a segment for you like they did on WBC, because they had a segment for him on that.
It was a great segment.
The organization recognized it. They gave me a ball.
Yeah. Now, inside the locker room, we'll listen to the players, and Mike Vrabel, their head coach, was a topic of conversation amongst the players as well.
With Coach Vrabel and his staff, I think we're just trying to buy into each other and build an identity, and I think that's what's kind of the biggest thing for me. I'm trying to be the same player every week, and I think those guys from this game last year left a bad taste in our mouth, so we're glad we came out here with a win.
It was huge. I think the first thing we was talking about at halftime is stop waiting on somebody to make the play and somebody be the one to make the play. So Brady's kept emphasizing that for sure. Something that we went over all week, and just came to matching the hand and being able to recover the ball and get it in the box.
And how good did it feel, after the offense is out there for 7.5, for you guys to come right back and put it under 7?
Bro, ecstatic. It's something that we needed. Obviously, we was feeling like the energy on the defense wasn't up to par like we would like it to be. So it was a jump start to get us going, and man, I feel like we just started rolling after that for sure.
He downplayed it all week, which we appreciate. I think he was focused on us and worried about us, and that's what matters. But I know that it feels good for him.
When you gain such a bond with your peers and obviously with your coach, man, they try not to make it more than ways to keep their guys level head, but it's personal for them, and we just want to play hard for them and give them everything we got to make sure they come out on top and they get the exact feeling that they would like to feel at the end of the game. So definitely with some extra juice on the defensive end to make sure that our guys, anybody that that came from this team or just was a part of this organization anyway, man, they got their revenge and they came out on top.
What's the key to keeping this momentum that you were able to generate today moving forward next week, the week after that specifically?
Just attacking practice the same way we did last week. just stack the days. Just stack the days. Be consistent. We got a pretty relentless team, and I love that about us. We take challenges, and we pass the test.
Pass the test.
Interesting stuff from Ramondre Stevenson, who's seen it, I think, on a bunch of different levels with a bunch of different staffs here, and good to hear him say they passed the test.
Yeah.
So.
But also the way they gushed over him in a professional way, you clearly can tell this team is all in on Mike Vrabel.
No question.
Yeah.
No question.
I think what stood out to me was Clavon Chasen saying they came out with low energy and somebody needed to make a play. And I just that's a recurring theme. We've heard the same thing from them. Why? Robert Spillane's one of the most intense dudes I've ever had the opportunity to watch. I mean, Milton Williams is locked in, and I just don't quite understand why the slow starts for this team and why they come out. Someone needs to make a play. You have guys that seem like they're focused on this all week pretty hard, and then they get to the game day, and it's a rookie quarterback, right down the field on them. There's a disconnect right now that I don't quite understand. Why are these guys not showing up ready to play?
And that's what we talked about earlier in the show. You have an offense right now that's playing at a very high level, and Drake Maye is playing out of his mind. And you have an opportunity because of that to compete in these games and win these games. But going forward, will this performance on the defensive side be good enough? You keep playing teams that don't have the ability to do anything more than they're doing. They've played 7 games, and I believe 5 of them are against teams with 1 win. They don't have the ability to score any more than they're scoring. That's as good a performance as Tennessee's had all year offensively. And you're able to shut them out in the second half. New Orleans last week, same kind of deal. They didn't play that well offensively all year. In the game against they scored 3 points in the second half because they're just not good enough to do it for 60 minutes. Now, fortunately for the Patriots, you're playing another team next week that doesn't have the ability to do it in Cleveland. So this is why I think you have the buy-in with Vrabel, because you're getting the tangible results. You're winning these games, and you're having this success, and you're stacking them. And with every one of these wins, you're getting closer to where you want to be and back to that road, rebuilding and getting back into relevance. This is why they're buying in. They're getting the results. And it's just, will it be enough to overcome what you're talking about, Mike? Can you afford to just allow the other team to go down and score 3 of the first 4 times they have the ball every game, which seems like it happens almost every game? Even Carolina, a game you won 41 to whatever, I think it was 42 to 13. Yeah. Carolina moved the ball at will in the first half. That's 6 times they drove into Patriots territory.
Well, I think
they're just not good enough to score any more than they scored. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you had a really good point in the pregame show where you talked about
I made a lot of them.
Really? Sorry, I only caught one of them. But the point that you're making, are we getting a little bit too far? Are we getting a little bit too far ahead of ourselves? Okay, the 31-13 win, I think today. I think if somebody had just given you the score, you would have said, "Oh yeah, I figured that's what's going to happen." It's the way they actually won 31-13 that's kind of interesting. But it isn't just a given with this team. They're not good enough to just sit there and roll the balls out and win the game. I think it's interesting how far they've come that you're analyzing these guys. Well, why is the defense, not getting after it right out of the chute? Why are they allowing teams to go down? If they can continue to have these problems while continuing to stack wins, that's
why I made the point about the tangible results.
Exactly.
Or, that's what allows you to buy in, because you can see when you're playing well what's the potential.
Yeah.
And they play well in spurts. Now today I thought they played well offensively the whole game. They throttled it down at the end and just got out of there in the fourth quarter. But I think they could have named the amount of points they wanted to score today offensively, but not so defensively. I like I said, I thought Cam Ward, I thought he looked good at times. He's just a little young, and they don't really have anything around him. Their best weapon was not playing. I think they need to be a little better defensively. The numbers would tell you they're terrific.
Right?
13 points, 255 yards, 3 for 10 on third down. You look at that and say, I'll sign up for all of those numbers. But I think we all would agree it didn't really look that good.
Right. Can I raise a concern offensively?
Please.
I have one minor concern.
Everybody talked about how well the running game rebounded this week, and it did. And it sounded like the players were saying in the locker room that Mike challenged them this week. Ramondre said that.
Yeah.
He challenged them this week. They wanted to run the ball.
It's funny, when I asked Ramondre about that, he didn't give us that answer.
How many tackles for a loss did they have in the running game today? Mike? Paul?
Hold, please.
How about too many?
I didn't think there were many.
Oh, offensively? Negative runs?
They have a lot of negative runs today?
Yeah. So they got 5. Stevenson had 5 stuffed runs.
Oh. 5 negative runs? Or like stuff like less than
like 0
There we
or
go.
less.
Got one.
Yeah, and that's without Simmons in the game, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll take 5 yards a carry.
Okay.
I mean, 18 for 88. I mean, not every run is going to go for yards, but I thought they ran the ball well today. Now, I thought you were going to say Tennessee, and for the most of the game without Simmons. I thought that was going to be, can I nitpick? But, I mean, I'll take the way they ran the ball
Okay,
today.
I didn't like the negative runs. That's all.
I mean, digging here a little bit more, Neshan, Cam Ward, again, like Spencer Rattler last week, really good against pressure and versus the blitz. I mean, he was 4 of 5 against the blitz for 49 yards. No turnovers, 107.5 passer rating. Against pressure, which was 30, a third of the snaps he was pressure. He was 5 for 8 for 69 yards, a 90 quarterback rating. So, I mean, he's just, nothing's affecting the quarterbacks. Nothing's affecting the quarterbacks.
There's mistakes that he made, but I came away impressed with him, much like I was Rattler last week.
Yeah.
I think they got something here. They have a lot of work to do because that's a roster really lacking in talent.
I mean, I feel the same way this week about Ward that I felt about Rattler last week, where it's just these guys look like they know where to go with the ball. They don't have a lot of dynamic weapons to really push the ball down the field and make defenses pay, but they seem to know where to go with the ball. They don't seem rattled by any of the pressure or the blitzes that the Patriots are throwing at them. They don't seem really confused by their coverage. They seem to get into a rhythm pretty easily, and it's really just the complexion of the game that has taken them out of that ability. Like, if Patriots weren't scoring on every drive, then, it might be a little bit more drawn out. It might be a little bit even. And I continue to think Penix will be really interesting in a couple weeks, and then Baker Mayfield. Like those two quarterbacks back to back, and certainly Baker Mayfield, who's, playing out of his mind right now.
Those two teams have some weapons that can score.
Yeah. The Bucs got more weapons they know what to do with at this point. Coming out everywhere.
All right, well, we're getting calls and emails. I guess we should catch up on those. Let's go to Eric in Tennessee. Hi, Eric.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Hey, Eric.
Good. So, we watched the game. Pretty exciting to see our quarterback blossom into something pretty special here. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Thank you. Oh.
Is Eric in a car wash?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I got to take my son to the game. We experienced a good win. We went to the Chicago game last year, and that was a different feeling than this game.
Yeah.
Just good to see our Patriots back on top.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, I would echo everything you're
sir.
saying about Drake May. I think that he gives you belief, and he gives you a feeling that you can compete. And this is why I took exception to the call earlier in the show. It's like, I hope we're not just fooling ourselves into think, well, why would you think that? Why would you, he gives you a chance. This is old school Patriots. We got Brady, we got a shot. And I'm not saying that May's like Brady. Like, forget the completion percentage nonsense. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But the quarterback is playing at a level that he's moving the ball almost every drive that he's on the field. When that happens, you have a chance to win. You don't have to win 17-13 like you had to do the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
88-yard drive,
93-yard drive in the first half.
Yeah. And
11
they
for
didn't beat
93.
themselves.
He was 6 for 6, and he had, I think, 3 carries for like 30 yards on it.
Those are big boy drives.
Can we get the Ted Lasso Believe over our door here?
Nice.
I think I'm with it.
I just, we spent so much time, like after Brady left, just talking about this, about finding the next quarterback and how hit or miss it can be and how difficult it can be and how many, he's called it like you're off in the wilderness. Like you just you're not really relevant until you have a quarterback. And, some guys come in with a lot of hype and they flame out. Other guys come from nowhere. There's just no set formula to it. And, even in the draft where the Patriots had 2 quarterbacks taken above them who both look like very good quarterbacks and, potentially going to have their teams in this conversation as well. It's just remarkable to see, this kid plucked from North Carolina. And we saw some potential last year, and there was plenty to be excited about coming into this season. But to see him playing at this level now, 6-7 games into his second season, it's just super cool. It's super cool. It's so hard to find. And, if you're a Patriots fan who has just been like, I don't really like watching bad football. I don't like watching inept offense. I don't like having to win games 6-3. Now you get to be excited on Sunday when you get to watch I remember Steve Palazzolo was from PFF, but he's like a closet Super Patriots fan. And I remember him always saying
PFF?
I remember him always just like saying, like, he used to tweet out, be like, we get to watch Tom Brady play football today. And it's like, you get so concerned with the wins and the losses and the playoffs and all that. It's like, at the end of the day, you're getting to watch very talented people do very special things on the football field. And you're seeing it consistently out of Drake Maye. And it's really fun to watch, regardless of wins, losses, all that stuff. It's just, the kid's got some real talent. It's pretty cool.
One thing, though, Mike, is you better have a structure around your quarterback if you've got the quarterback. And I thought CBS did a nice job with that graphic about the last 4 first round, number 1 overall picks. Lawrence, Ward, Caleb Williams. Who am I missing? Those are all had their head coach fired in their first year.
Yeah, the last
that
4
can't
number
help
1
their
overall
development,
picks, but your number 3 overall pick had the same thing happen.
No, I know, right.
Yeah.
So you got to have a structure around him, and I'm sure you guys have been talking about, and people's, I think Josh has made a difference here, and I think Josh, Tony Brown, those guys have really made a difference in Drake Maye's development this year.
Yeah, it's just, his confidence, that's the thing, and it's just,
Ashton Grant,
and
right?
even just
quarterback coach.
Drake Maye.
He's all about Drake Maye.
The strides that he's made just since week 1. Like, week 1 looked like a different quarterback.
Right.
People had doubts after week 1 about
after
Drake
week
Maye.
1 is
the last
really
5
striking.
games he's played at a pretty high level. Now, it hasn't always been perfect. I don't think he played great against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think he was great that day, except for the turnovers. Well, that's that you can't say that.
Right.
So
the sentence cancels itself out.
Since that Pittsburgh game, he's played at a really, really high level, and it's no surprise to me that you've been able to be productive offensively.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see where Stead is. Stead, did you go to the game? You're in Nashville.
What's up, Stead?
All right, we're going to have to go with someone else instead.
Dead.
Oh, I see what you did. I see what you did there.
All right, we're going to go to Virginia. Not you laughing at my dumb dad joke.
That was good. I'm a dad, so I appreciate it.
There are no dumb dad jokes.
Emery.
Perfect.
How are you doing, Emery?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hey.
Just want to pin some flowers on you guys. You do a very, very good job. I think Patriots fans like myself, we're very spoiled because we get such good coverage and stuff. And
damn straight.
It's competent stuff. It's not over-exaggerated, positive stuff about the team. You balance it, great balance, and appreciate you all. Okay.
Thank you, Emery.
Thanks, Emery.
Thank you.
I'm going to send you your check. Did you have a question too or no?
I got, from the words of Remember the Titans, we got ourselves a quarterback.
There we go.
Sunshine.
And one last thing. I'm a little nitpick, but I wish moving forward, especially against some of these bottom-feeder teams, such as we played today, I wish we could send Kyle Williams on a couple of those go routes, throughout the game. Until he refines his route running, let's send him on a couple of those go routes. Go Pats. Thank you all.
What do you two think about that?
Thanks, Emery.
I think they're trying. I do.
Yeah.
It was another play. Paul's been all over. I'll let you do the Kyle Williams thing.
No, because I agree with you. I think where you're going. I think that they've gotten him involved today again. Early in the game, he's involved. I think they're trying to get him kick-started a little bit. I don't think he has issues with route running. Now, I don't think today's route was particularly sharp, but I think that he has had a couple of plays.
Snaps today. So
he's had a couple of plays dialed up for him. They haven't really been able to hook up yet, but he's the 5th receiver.
It's true. There's only so much time you'll get.
And again, this is like the 3rd time, I think, that they've thrown the ball somewhere between, let's call it 17 or 18 and 23, 24 times and had like 3 or less incomplete passes.
Yeah.
What are we? Oh, well, where's Chisholm? Where's Williams? Like, who cares?
That's really nitpicking.
Who cares? Like, the guys that he's throwing to are catching them.
Right.
Yeah.
Dig 7 for 7. Booty 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Look, right down the line.
Hollins 2 for 2.
Hollins 2 for 2. Henry 4 for 5.
Yeah.
Douglas 3 for 3. Hooper
Right.
2 for 2. Like,
Right.
Everybody who gets targeted is catching passes.
Right. When you're 21 to 23, you're going to have a lot of people.
And one of them was to Williams.
Not a lot of misses.
Yeah, he had one target, but no.
There was a third down incompletion to Williams early in the game that led to the punt on the one drive that they didn't score on in the first half. And I don't think that was a great route by Williams. And then there was a throwaway in the second half. Those are the two incompletions.
Yeah.
Was the Jacksonville game, the Brady game, the playoff game? Was that
26 for 28?
Yeah. He was surgical that day. Holy smoke.
All right, Chris, you're in Orlando. Welcome in to the show.
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Hey, Chris.
We're good.
How are you?
Hey, guys. All right, so a little quick stat off the top, and then I'm going to get into maybe a little schedule question. Drake Maye just became the first quarterback in Patriots franchise history to complete over 90% of his passes in a game with 20-plus attempts. 21 to 23, 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. First time Patriots franchise history. Just a little nugget there.
Oh, Tom Brady in 2007.
We're going to ignore that Tom Brady game. Okay.
Right.
Regular season.
Is that
in the AFL?
Okay. Okay. I saw it on the Patriots social media page.
Oh, that must be true.
Stop.
I can't argue with that.
I called in with last week. I called in with a bit of pessimism. I'm going to call in with some overreaction optimism.
Okay.
Looking at the schedule, I have us losing to Atlanta, losing to Tampa, losing to Buffalo, and then losing to Baltimore. Those are some games I think we can win. Maybe we can lose to Cincinnati, what have you. That'll have us going 11-6. According to what I have with other teams, 11-6 still gets us the 7th seed. According to what I have for other, teams, Buffalo still have them going 13-4, winning the division. I know you guys have already done this. I just want to know right now where you guys stand, and if you guys think 10-7 will be good enough to land this team a playoff spot.
Getting too far ahead of yourself, Chris.
I do think that will be good enough to make the playoffs, 10-7, and I think that's about where I have them, 9 or 10 wins. And I agree with the way you said it. Those are games that you would look at and say those would be the toughest games. Mm-hmm. They won't lose them all.
Yeah,
they'll win 1 or 2 of those. But I'm going to tell you, the games that I'm sure you have in your mind is already penciled in as W's, like Cleveland and the Giants, and both of them against the Jets. They won't win them all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll win the majority of them.
Myles Garrett, the kid Ward at cornerback, that's a challenge next week coming up for them against Cleveland. Schwartzy on defense.
And you see what happens when you turn the ball over like Miami did, and all of a sudden Cleveland gets 31 points.
Which they could score 31 against Cones
if they were alone on the field.
Right.
Right.
But if you turn it over like they did, you make it awfully easy for them.
And you do what you've been doing every game this year and come out and let the other team run right down the field to start the game and spot them 7. That's a defense that might be able to have that lead for a while.
Yep.
As opposed to the Patriots just keep getting that score right back every time because their offense is playing at such a high level.
I don't know how it all has to play out, but I think to get to that Buffalo game here at home and still be in the conversation for the division and, to set that up as
I don't see any way that won't happen.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good chance. I just think that would be really great for the franchise to, have a December game here against the Bills. A lot of hype, some real stakes. To that game. First time probably since 2021 where you came down the stretch and you felt like, we're in the mix. We have a chance to really do something here and get, some playoff seeding. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to go. You can sit here and make any prediction you want. I don't think it'll go that way.
No.
There's too much weird stuff. But I just, if Drake Maye continues to play like the way he's playing and not making mistakes, like, I don't know what the ceiling is. Like before I would have kind of said, but he's the wild card to me.
I'm just, I'm doing what I always do during the post-game show, and I'm watching my red zone, and I'm watching the Giants play, and they're giving Denver everything that they want right now. At Denver, they got a 13-0 lead, late in the second quarter. And I don't know if they'll win the game or not, but the Giants are clearly a different team with Jackson Dart at quarterback. They've been different.
They're more annoying.
Everybody just has that. Everybody just, there's no way they can lose that game. Well, I'm telling you, I think there's a way that they can lose some of these games.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to pour water on it, but I want to repeat what I said earlier when Paul said in the pregame show, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think it's great that fans are interested. They're looking at the schedule, win, lose, win. What are they going to finish? Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. This team is a work in progress at 5-2. Mm-hmm. I think, Paul, you said earlier in the week that, one of the accomplishments maybe is already you can tell they're going to play meaningful games. They're in the mix. We couldn't have asked for more than that back in August.
Well, that was
That's
the goal.
what they're going to be doing.
Right? That was the goal.
Right. So now
everybody
maybe your
looked
goals
at
are
the
going to change a
schedule.
little bit.
Everybody looked at the schedule and said they should be playing meaningful games when you get to November, and they are.
Right. Yeah.
There's no question in my mind that they're going to be playing meaningful games. But I also I want to look at things from both sides, and I think I said that they had all games. 4 of their 7 games have been against teams with 1 win. So like that's an exception. There's a reason why let's go back to the metrics, Mike, right?
Yeah.
We do the pressure rate and the pass block win rate and all this stuff. The metrics of the schedule will tell you it's the easiest schedule in the history of football since the 16-game schedule was instituted in 1978.
Yep.
So good for you. You've played 4 games against 1-win teams, and you're 3-1 in those 4 games.
Yep.
But again, 3-1, not 4-0.
Right.
So don't just take the next 4 games you're playing against the bad teams and just say win, win, win. You're probably going to lose a game.
Yeah. I wrote at the top of every year I have a little spreadsheet that I put the roster on and do all my work on, and the first thing I wrote was be the best of the bad. Be the best of the bad.
That's what you said early on too.
And they're flirting with being the best of the bad. They're 3-1, not 4-0, but that's what this season was about, getting back on track, be the best of the 4th place teams, take advantage of this schedule, put together a season to build off of, and that's what they're doing.
At his introductory press conference, didn't Mike Vrabel say take advantage of bad football?
That was the second thing I wrote next to it because I felt like, Matt, it kind of corresponded. I was like, all right, we're on the same page.
When the quarterback drops back and lets the ball slip out of his hand, be in a position to scoop it up, score, and take advantage of bad football.
Right. It's just nice seeing you kids
I love it. We're all
just
getting
come
along.
together.
It's beautiful.
Telling Paul has to hold it in. And just...
Paul's just sitting there. Yep. All right, let's get some tissues. Eric in Tennessee, how you doing?
Yeah, so back. Sorry, I drove out of the car wash, so we should be good now.
Okay. He was in the car wash.
You weren't done?
Are you still in the car wash, Eric?
I'm still in the car wash? Damn. So here with my son, we're just, again, stoked on the win, and it's cool just seeing Drake Maye building over the past year and couple games, and then Ramondre holding on to the ball. He took some hits similar that he has earlier and held on to the ball. So it's great. I don't know these. I'm super excited about. Kind of feel like we're back.
Yeah, there you go. All right, shout out to you and your son. Thanks for calling back. John in Vancouver.
Hello, great show, guys. So I just wanted to say that, first of all, with Drake Maye, it's just phenomenal performance throughout the year. And one of the things that I was really concerned about heading into the season was that we'd see a sophomore slump, similar to what we've seen from maybe C.J. Stroud last year and a handful of other quarterbacks throughout the years. But we're just really not seeing that. It's a major sign of encouragement, I would say. So I'd love your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, I think it's a little different. C.J. Stroud had an exceptional season his rookie year. So it's kind of, I would put Jaden Daniels in that situation right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to continue to play at that kind of a level.
For sure.
Drake Maye didn't play at that level last year. So a sophomore slump would have been, we need a new quarterback. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think what Drake Maye is doing now is kind of reminiscent of what Daniels did last year and what Stroud did 3 years ago as a rookie, 2 years ago, whatever it was. But the bottom line is you got a quarterback. Whether he levels off at some point, which is probably inevitable, teams are going to adjust to some of the things that he's doing at some point. And quite frankly, you're going to play teams that are better than what you're playing, and they're going to be able to physically take away some of the stuff that hasn't been. But it won't matter to me because he's showing you that he's the guy. And he's going to continue to get better too.
Speaking of the guy, I don't know if you guys talked about. Did you see where Drake was Friday night?
Yeah, Zavarian CM.
He was asked about that. He was asked about that in the post game, and his face kind of lit up about it. Like he was sitting there going, "I think he lives in Westwood. I'm not sure."
Well,
but
he saw something that doesn't happen very often. John DiBiaso team lost.
Right, and he was pretty jacked up about it. He goes, "I thought everybody said this was going to be a big game. I wanted to go. I thought it would be cool. It was a great atmosphere." So. maybe a little bit of Drake May kind of, inserting himself into the community a little bit. I thought that was really cool.
The MVP chants there. From
Yeah.
the civilian crowd. It's funny, though, sometimes you hear, especially on Fridays, you hear players be like, hey, where's the game site tonight? Like, what high school games? They always talk about wanting to go, and I'm always
Who's
like,
that,
don't come to my town.
Come on, you guys are on the rebound.
Who was the defense? Jawan Williams. Jawan Williams used to ask me a lot, like, what's a good game?
Well,
like,
Sverry and CM, I'm like, that's a real football. I feel comfortable.
I always
you're
try
watch
to get
this
in
and
the
be
club
like,
and see my
this is
sons
okay.
play, but I was like, I'm just kidding. It's too far away.
Matt Judon used to go to high school games every once in a while.
No, it's cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of guys go to a game every week.
I mean, Paul and I talk about it all the time. Like, I love going to high school football games and high school hockey games, and really any high school sport, but those two specifically for me, just the atmosphere and as somebody who played hockey, and it brings you back and reminds you of who you are, where you came from, and
While you
the
play the
support of
game.
the parents, and just the cowbells and the atmosphere. I
Gotta have more cowbell.
Need more cowbell.
That was bad. Westwood hockey.
I do
cowbell.
miss it. I do miss it. I was going to go. My kid's high school played against Fian, so I was going to go and see my boy Logan.
Logs.
But,
Got busy.
I decided to go and have a few sudsies instead.
All right. Like that.
Well, could you imagine, like,
Friday.
Like, if Logan looks at you and goes, "What are you here for?" I don't know. I just came to the game.
I just came to get
You mean your kid doesn't play?
I
No,
came
he doesn't.
I came to give you a hug. My friends like to make fun of me when I do that.
We're gonna head to South Beach. Johnny
South Beach. Hey, they're all coming out.
Howdy, everyone. Was anybody else expecting to see Hooper moss somebody today? Because I got up off my couch.
That was a great catch.
Great catch. Yeah, that was very Randy Mossy.
Yeah, so two things. One good sign, one thing that I think is a little bit troubling. First, I think the total number of penalties against us was a normal number of penalties versus other games. I don't think I don't think we're quite a disciplined team yet, but I was pleased to not see a flag on every other play because of something we did. On something that I think we could work on, or that's troubling to me, I think this team really misses Gibson, especially on those kickoff returns. I think Chisholm looks kind of slow, and he returned one that was going to land on like the 1 yard line too. I was like, oh man. So definitely need help there. Otherwise, I'm like psyched right now. Simple as that.
I kind of agree with that point, especially about Gibson. Like, I just think he was a good piece and there were a couple times early on where he kind of sparked the run a little bit. He runs hard.
And it's been twofold, but because you've lost Gibson on that kick return, you've had to lose Henderson because they now can't afford to lose him.
Yeah, right.
So I do think it's taken. Now, aside from the touchdown that Gibson had, I don't think the kick return game has been all that strong. I think Gibson had one other one against the Raiders.
He did.
Yeah, good one.
That was decent, but for the most part, they really didn't get much out of the return game, but it was nothing compared to this. Now, the last two games, they've gotten absolutely nothing. Yeah. They've been bottled up inside the 25 on a consistent basis, and Johnny's right. They're getting a penalty a week, I think, on those kick returns. They had one last week. They had another one today.
Point of emphasis maybe before the trade deadline, do you think?
Yeah.
Try to find somebody.
I think they need a running back.
Right.
You can't go with two running backs, I don't think, the whole year.
Where's the Antonio Gibson out there? That kind of guy who can return kicks, can be that second back, bring a little bit of a burst. That's what Gibson was so good about. It's tough.
Quick sidebar on Gibson, by the way. Yesterday, Dietrich Wise, he still throws a community block party in Mattapan. Gibson and his wife were there supporting and
that's great.
Making a presence. So despite being on IR, I love to see that, like you mentioned, being an embedded.
Yeah,
into
he should
New
be
England.
back next year. And, now they're gonna continue to add to that position too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see what Brad in California is telling us. Hey, Brad.
All right, all I got to say is you guys better start clearing out space in Patriot Place next to Tom Brady for this dude, because this man is my savior. He's my king. But in all seriousness, am I misremembering the first couple of weeks of the season when we were talking about maybe having to just deal with Drake May's inconsistencies in the short game? Like, this guy has been nearly perfect in almost all of the games since maybe week 2. And also, before I take the answer off air, I need an obligatory Marty Mapu snap count. Dude was out there today.
Oh, yeah.
Playing all the hits today.
I got you. Marty.
Matty Mapu.
Wrong page. Oh, please.
Let's see. Do I have
Talk
it?
amongst
Let's
yourselves.
See
see.
what happens.
I got it.
Wait, look.
Hey,
got it.
Francesca, can we
Who
get
can
the
get it
numbers?
first?
1, 2,
Marte
3.
Mapu, where are you?
What you gonna do when they come for you?
Yeah, so
Allow me to sort.
clean off, make some
20 snaps.
space.
20 snaps.
20
Brad.
snaps.
Make some space next to Brady's statue. Matt, you think
Thanks,
they're getting ahead of
Brad.
ourselves?
Jeez.
No, I know, Brad. I'm just teasing
It was
because I know
funny, though.
Brad said that he
was joking.
He was just joking.
I think
It was
next week's a real test. I'm not telling you that the last 3 games weren't tests. They aren't. But this Cleveland team plays really good defense.
Yeah, they do.
They do play good defense, but they have absolutely no offense.
No, I know. They
So
scored 31 points today, and the kid threw it 18 times. Their first round, 5th round pick.
Yeah, and
So it'll be a balance
Gabriel.
Tua scored a lot of those points
I know,
for them.
I know.
Like I think he had at least 3 picks.
It's kind of, for me, a nice next step because you expect that this is going to be a good defense and it's going to maybe challenge
Yes.
this
I do.
offense a little bit
Yes.
more. So,
I
like
do
defense,
think
we
it's a
can't
good
go out there
defense.
and let Dylan Gabriel go right down the field on the first 2 drives and just put
So
up 10 points.
that's what I want to see. If that happens and they have a little support from their offense, like if you don't get support from your offense, I don't care how good you are defensively. You're not going to stop the Patriots all day because you're not giving them any reason to want to stop anybody. That like Cleveland has given up some points. Cleveland gave up like 41 to the Ravens. It's their only win. You know, like so if the Browns have that success early in the game that every other opponent has had, then it could be game on.
Yeah.
It could be game on because you want to give them 10 points in the first quarter and all of a sudden they're playing defense like, hey, we got this. We can stop them and figure out a way to stay in this game. Then I agree with Matt. Myles Garrett can ruin a game.
Absolutely.
They have some pieces in place on defense, but I don't care how good your defense is. If you can't move the ball and score, you're not going to
Maybe
stop
it's a
teams
good challenge for
the
the
whole
Patriots
game.
defense as well.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Hopefully.
And, I mean,
It's a terrible offense.
Yeah,
the Browns.
But the defense they are physical. They swarm to the ball. There's not much space. It's going to be tough sledding to try to get that run game going next
You
week.
keep the game close,
You know,
and Quinshon Judkins can run the ball instead of having Dylan Gabriel have to throw.
Yeah, well, I mean, Matt, you said it. I mean, Jim Schwartz. I mean, he's been forever, but he's aggressive. I mean, they're going to come, and it's going to be it's just going to be an interesting.
Should be an interesting game.
Could be a rock fight.
Yeah.
And I also think, and I don't want to like this. I'm going to get made fun of. I know this week, but it's one of those. You know how I always get concerned about random things. Sometimes you get a long road trip, and that first game back after a long road trip can be kind of a letdown.
Oh,
excellent point.
You fire your
Now
coach,
I'm not
then you
gonna
get
sleep all week,
offset it with the
Excellent
interim
point,
coach.
You see how I get mocked? You see how I get mocked?
I like the point a lot.
Yikes.
I like
I
that
get
point.
mocked on
Be
my own
nice,
show.
Deuce.
They
Be
needed
nice.
the interim coach.
I'm the show,
Bump,
Glenn.
sorry.
I knew you would get
We had to
that.
offset it.
How will we ever sleep?
Oh boy.
Well,
Just fine. Don't worry.
Any final thoughts and words?
Final thoughts.
I just can't
I
say
think we've
enough
talked about
Drake
everything.
May.
Yeah,
No,
Drake
me
May.
too.
Give him more
Me
flowers.
too.
I just the level of difficulty on some of the throws. This is like there's not a stat in football that I can't stand more than completion percentage. It means absolutely nothing to me.
Yeah.
It does. It means nothing to me. The throws that he's completing at a 90% level today were not check down Charlie.
He called himself Check Down Charlie.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. He said, I don't want to be Check Down Charlie.
Yeah.
He said that in the post game.
He throws the ball downfield and not wide open guy. Like Demario Douglas was wide open last week. Anybody could have completed that pass. The stuff that he completed to Hollins, Booty,
The Hollins throw was sick.
Diggs, they were all reasonable. Hooper, they were all reasonably tightly contested.
Right.
No. Good
Like,
stuff.
Again, I'm not here to talk about completion percentage because that generally means that you're throwing all passes that should be complete. He wasn't throwing all passes that should be complete today.
No. All over the yard. Now, great kid. Got to keep it rolling, but they got some momentum now, and it's starting to pick up steam. So carry it into a tough Cleveland team and play well and continue to work on the things that they've been, that they're obvious what they need to work on, and they got to fix those things, but they're coming together.
And they heard your segment. You're building a legacy.
Yeah. Listen to my segment.
Well, I think that does it for this
Moments.
week's edition of the Patriots Postgame Show presented by DraftKings. Thank you so much for tuning in. Another win in the books for the Patriots. For Matt Smith, Paul Perillo, and Mike Dussault, I'm Kwani Lunis. Thanks for watching.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.